oopsie moment is when HR manager or HR officer doesn't know what are the basic requirements that apply to the workplace or to their employment relationship between. If you cry during employment audit, maybe it will work to your advantage. You can buy the auditor's heart, training. They can definitely benefit themselves on not just learning what are the current legal requirements that apply to the workplace, apply to employment relationships, but also learn from there how to manage their current employment relationships.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Talk Human to Me. Our guest for today, his title is longer than Lady Diana wedding dress.
No, that's not true.
So I'm gonna let you, introduce yourself. This is Mr. Shan Berg, but he's my good friend. But I call you Sean, right?
Yes, that's right.
Can you explain what you do?
Yes.
I only know that you have a really nice voice because we used to karaoke together, and you're in a choir as well,
yes,
right?
That's right.
Yes.
And thank you, Mutia, for having me on this podcast. My name is Shan. I work for a law firm. Its name is Soxipana Satellite. Our office is in Kopik. And my role in the law firm is the head of employment and immigration. And I also run the China desk of the office. So yeah, that's basically what I do.
You are actually from Malaysia, right?
Yes.
You speak Chinese.
Yes.
You speak Khmer.
Yes.
You speak English.
Yes, English.
Maybe, sort of.
Yes. And Malay.
And you speak Malay. Oh,
yes.
Sometimes we speak like very bad Malay understanding. Oh, it's not very bad. We understand.
Yeah,
each other,
we understand
right?
each other. Yeah, that's right.
So today we're going to talk about HR.
Yeah.
As you know, my company, One HR Hub, we are like a recruitment company.
Yes.
And we're dealing with human. But today we would like to talk about HR department, or what they call it, talent acquisition nowadays.
Right.
So, in related to that, how long you've been here?
So I've been here for almost 9 years now.
Yeah, you used to work in the factory before, right?
Yes, I used to work in a garment processing factory as a compliance officer manager, where I handled the employment and health and safety compliance of the manufacturer. Yeah, and also audits.
And then, so you work with a lot of people, massive group of people.
Yes,
right?
I worked with more than 3,000 ladies with long hair.
What do you mean long hair? Is there any? I mean, like.
Well, I mean,
You didn't count one with short hair, or
many of my Khmer friends said that I speak Khmer well because I have one long hair dictionary. But I tell them, no, you're wrong. It's not one long hair. It's more than 3,000 long hair dictionaries.
So everyone is teaching you Khmer.
Yes,
right?
everyone is very
so
gracious
cute.
teaching me how to say something, what to call something, how to describe a situation.
Yeah, of course. Well, today's topic is a bit heavy.
Yes.
But we try not to, because in my podcast, I would like to make it like a difficult topic more understandable for people.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, that's why the title Talks Human to Me, where we don't use like difficult jargons.
Yes.
We just chit chat with brains.
Yes, that's right.
Let me just straight to the point. What is the facepalm or oopsie moment that you've seen in Cambodia in HR department, and how training can actually help them and save their dignity?
Okay. So during the time I've been working in several workplaces, I find that the most facepalm oopsie moment is when HR manager or HR officer doesn't know what are the basic requirements that apply to the workplace or to their employment relationship between the company and the employee. And so they just try to manage it on their own. And that's where things go facepalm because sometimes the employee is the one who know better. And then they go back to the HR. No, it's not like that. It's not like that. You know, the law says, and then the HR goes like, oh, I don't know. you know. Or it's a case when an employee asks their upper management level what their entitlements are, why can't they get it, and then the upper management asks the HR managers why, and then they have to answer for that because they're the ones who assist the company to prepare the employment contracts, employment policies. That's only if they don't have an in-house counsel. And definitely if there's a training that would help HR managers to understand what the current legal requirements are that apply in the workplace, what are the basic working conditions that a company needs to have in its workplace, and how to handle employment relationships. That would definitely help HR managers to perform better in their job. Yes.
But the thing is, I don't really fully blame them. I mean, like labor law, I think changing like a lot and very fast. Faster than a TikTok filters, And how can the HR keep up with that? Like, is there any suggestion so they don't have to get depressed and losing their hair?
Okay. Yes, definitely. There's so many ways. So I say the simplest way is to keep reading the news because the news updates very quickly as fast as the TikTok trend, and you can get like news and say like, there's actually a new regulation relating to how I employ someone or how I pay someone, or there's a new update on how we are to handle labor inspections or reply the Ministry of Labor with filings and whatnot. The other way is we can subscribe to newsletters of law firms, newsletters of business chambers or joint employer federations, so that they can stay up to date periodically with the major legal updates. And of course, if there's a HR training for HR personnel professionals on how to understand what are the current legal requirements that apply to the employment relationship, how to prepare contracts, how to pay wages properly, how to handle employment disputes. Definitely, HR professionals should not spare the time to go and learn and go and join such a training, so they can better equip themselves with the necessary skills they need to use in the workplace.
So you mentioned about newsletter before, right? Can you give me the link later so we can, put it down? So people can just,
Yes, sure. Yes.
Follow and read it.
Yes.
But I always believe that reading is part of cultures.
Yes.
And some cultures are not accustomed to it. Yeah. So do you have any solution for people who, let's say, not so keen on long reading?
Not so keen on reading. So if you're not keen on reading, I'd say the other aspect of engaging yourself in learning is to go listen to a talk, or and when you listen you have to watch, right? You have to watch somebody teaching you what is this and what is that. And of course HR training would definitely include all of those, and not to mention some trainings, HR trainings will include like workshops. We get to practice how to do certain things, like for example how to write an employment policy, how to do some filings, and Those are very important skills that you can learn by joining a training. Of course, you can use Facebook. Of
Yeah,
course, you
of
can
course.
use.
But that takes reading as well.
Yes,
right?
you have to read. You have to watch videos. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. Not for me. What is so weird about in relation to reading?
Mm-hmm.
Reading. I always believe reading and writing are the skills that comes together.
Yes. Yes.
They love paperwork. Like this is the 1980s.
Mm-hmm.
They care more about filling up form. Like, oh, you forgot to clock in.
Mm-hmm.
Fill out this 10 papers, but you forgot this clock in on this day or that day. And then, if you have to meet client 3 times in a day, so you have to filling in, clocking out, lunchtime, coming back from lunch. So how training can help them improve that HR, you are not pushing papers. Your work is, helping all these human resources that you have in your company.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I would say for a HR professional to effectively perform their role in the workplace, they need to know, like you say, they're managing people, not paper.
Yeah.
Right? And
maybe they misheard it. People and paper.
I would say managing the files of an employee is very important. Don't get me wrong. But we cannot forget that when we are working in a human resource professional capacity, we need to know that we have to deal with people every day.
Yeah.
And of course, how to deal with someone is you not only need to know people skills, but you need to also learn what are the basic legal requirements that apply into the employment relationship that you need to implement in the workplace. So, for example, many companies forget that besides the human resource professional, the workforce of their own have worker representatives. And they always see this worker representative as, it's their enemy,
because it's true though.
Yeah, or they just treat the representative as just a formality. Like, I have to elect someone, just put their name on the paper and just say, like, okay, this is the employment representative to be compliant with the law. But many employers forget that they can actually engage with employee representatives to manage working relationships or working conditions.
Yeah, like you mentioned to me one time before about like hiring disabled people, right?
Correct, yes.
I remember it was just like, for me it's very funny, because it's just like it was a conversation and I was like, why you didn't hire this person, because from the interview, because it was Zoom interview, it's the best one.
Yes.
And then they said like, oh, because he have no leg.
Oh.
And I was like, are we hiring a runner? Yeah, exactly. Like, well, what's that got to do with
Yes,
this,
correct. Yes. Yeah. And that's a very good point, because many companies also don't realize that the law requires them to hire a certain number of people as people with physical or mental disabilities or challenges in the workforce. But sadly, many companies choose the wrong way. They decide to pay a donation instead of hiring a person with disabilities. So I think by joining a HR training, you can learn how to deal with this situation when an applicant comes and they declare to you they have a certain challenge, physical challenge, mental challenge that they're dealing with. How can you use that, not use that person, but rather how can you include that person in your organization rather than say no, there's no place for you. Because when you say no, there's no place for you, or you hire them and later just like, I don't want you anymore, it could become discrimination. And that is illegal, it's a serious misconduct.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why training is really important.
Yes, very
I think.
important.
Yes.
Very important, yeah.
Now, speaking of, like in other country, like country that more advanced than even my country or your country, this DEI is like they're already like they eat it for breakfast. Right?
Yeah.
And they want to open a company in here.
Yes.
So what are the HR skills that they need to make sure that they have if they want to,
Yes.
attract
So I say with foreign companies entering Cambodia, there's actually like it's a scale of types of companies that enter. So for example, you have small companies entering, or you have very large companies entering the market. And as a HR professional, one should be ready to ask, okay, yes, these companies are entering. What are they bringing to the table? Do they bring their own HR systems? Okay, if they do, can you use those to apply in the workplace? Are they actually compliant with the law? And so on and so forth. But then you have some companies that are coming with zero, like nothing. They can be a very rich like business, like full like $1 million capital business, and they hire like thousands and thousands of employees, and they bring in a lot of workers, but they have no systems at all. Okay, so once we are in that situation, what can we do? Okay, if we don't have the basic knowledge, what employment law is, what the employment law requirements are, how can you create systems, right? So only when you are equipped with the basic knowledge on what employment law requirements are applicable to that workplace, how can you apply those? You can use that knowledge to formulate a simple human resource system in the workplace, rather than just go and purchase. Yes, and so one way to equip yourself with knowledge on applicable employment law in the workplace is by joining a human resource training, where you can learn the current requirements that apply to your company. You can learn also the necessary skills in managing employee files, managing employment discipline, managing employment leave, and also managing employment disputes. Yes.
Please have a tea.
Oh, yes, thank you.
This next question require you to drink this beautiful tea. You actually give me this tea. Yeah, it's really nice.
It is, yes.
Yeah. So, if you're running a boot camp
Yes.
for HR, what are the 3 survival kits that you want to teach them? That's not including how to cry in front of audit, or to say I don't know in a believable way,
By the way, if you cry during employment audit, maybe it will work to your advantage. You can buy the auditor's heart,
Like cry like this, yeah.
Yeah, but crying doesn't really help, because crying just basically delays everything.
Yeah, of course.
So I think
but you will be surprised that there are people who will try this trick.
No, I won't be surprised. Okay, well, if I ran a bootcamp for HR professionals, I think the first 3 things I want to teach HR professionals is what the current legal requirements are in relation to employment relationships in the workplace generally, so that you have a baseline of what you need to observe as employment conditions in your company. So with that, basically you can solve a lot of problems with that knowledge. The next thing is how to manage knowing employment benefits, which apply to employees, and knowing what are the employer's rights in the workplace. So many companies think that the law is only to protect one side, or most. I can tell you a very good example, which many of my clients tell me, is that they think, I feel the labor law is to pro-employee. Of course, it's pro-employee, though it's not employment law, right? Yeah. But many times you got to look more deeper into what the law says, or what the regulations that apply to workplaces say, because from there we can see what the rights and duties of both sides. So what are the employer's rights, what are the employee's rights, how to balance those, and then with that knowledge we can formulate policies, employment policies, and implement them in the workplace. I think the third thing that I would like human resource professionals to learn is how to handle employment disputes.
Oh, yeah.
Not cry in front of a dispute.
Or disappear. That's my favorite one. Just don't respond. Just read. Leave them on. Leave them on it. So I just want to backtrack a little bit. So with employment policies, and employment compliance, I want to say is that the companies need to know that the Ministry of Labour has prepared a checklist, which they need to tick every 6 months, and that is actually a self-audit. So if you can do that, you can audit your own workplace and ask yourself, am I following what the law is asking of me? These are very basic requirements. And once you go through that, you can see, okay, I need to improve here, here, and here. Then you can prepare for a labour inspection and not cry. Right? During a labour inspection. It's true. So okay, that's relating to employment compliance. But then, like, when it comes to employment disputes, there's like a few stages before a dispute happens. So what can a human resource professional do to mitigate disputes before they become fully fledged, like like complaints, to court or something? Gun blazing.
Burn stuff and everything. But the skill to learn here is they need to know, a human resource professional needs to know that they actually act as the mediator between the management of the company and the employees. So in the first place, a human resource professional should be able to understand what is going on in the workplace, and they need to know what is the employee talking about. And that's where worker representatives are very important. Because they are able to facilitate the communication between the management. I think this
worker representative is like, it's unheard of.
Right. Yes. Nobody knows.
This is the first time for me to hear this. Yes.
Yeah.
That's come to my next question. I feel like it's a wild card question, but it's something that I need to ask. Like a lot of people ask as well, especially employers. You know? Most of people, okay, that's too nice. Not most of people. All of employers always see HR department or HR director is always on the owner side. Always say yes to whatever owner says.
Yes.
What is your suggestion? Like, I can understand HR is also have a boss, right? And the boss paid for their salary.
Yes.
How to create healthy ecosystem inside company, but also not upsetting the boss, because they don't understand. If they keep saying yes, it could essentially make the owner into really bad position too.
Yeah, correct. So I would say human resource professional should know what is their role in the company. So sometimes companies hire human resource professionals just to be a employee.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they indoctrinate them and tell them that your role is just to manage attendance, payroll, and and whatever I say is the right thing. But actually, it shouldn't be that way. So employers should bear in mind that when they hire a human resource professional, they should be people who can act independently, who can act as the check and balance person in the company between employees and employer.
Yeah.
So a human resource professional should know what is the baseline requirement when it comes to certain types of employment benefits or implementing certain types of policies in a company. They can for example, boss says like, okay, today I want to create a new policy that says like nobody is going to be paid overtime. And then of course a HR personnel can just yes, because they should know already. It's like, what is so illegal, right? So you have to act as a baseline and say like, boss, this one need to change, okay, because it's not compliant.
Then this we always go back to the importance of
So if a HR professional can has attended training, more human resource training, they can understand what is the current requirements of the labor law and know what is the baseline, so they can actually not stand up to their boss, but inform their employer that the current requirements are so ABC and what needs to change in the company.
No, to be honest with you, like for me, this lack of training, lack of reading, lack of knowing, it creates problem. They didn't realize that this problem, they can sweep it under the rug for the time being.
Yes.
But it could potentially become a lawsuit, became like a bad PR, creating bad image to the company, to the owner straight away.
Yeah.
And then what's so funny about it, it's like, I feel like the bigger the issues, the HR department will send person who have the lowest rank and to deal with that.
Yeah.
So he will be a perfect in saying, I don't know, because he probably really don't know, because it's the lowest level one, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Or, it's almost like a meme. They're always making this face. Oh, this is the first time I've heard this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think with a better training, it will help the company a lot to keep all these human resources. Again, like I know a lot of people like leaning towards, for me it's just label, it's just name. Human resources, yes, these are resources as well.
Yeah.
And these resources, sometimes it's irreplaceable. It's not just a buying new computer buy another one. Yes, you need to keep this talent inside the company. And to summarize what you said, the importance of training, I think it is essential for the HR department itself to realize that, I need to learn more, I need this training, and also the owner, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
So I sincerely believe that if owners attend such a human resource training or employment law training, they can definitely benefit themselves on not just learning what are the current legal requirements that apply to the workplace, apply to employment relationships, but also learn from there how to manage their current employment relationships and how to retain employees better. So then you don't have a high rate of turnover. Always blaming like,
Cambodian people, we know it's not true.
No, it's not.
They work really hard.
Yes.
They're very diligent.
Yes.
They want to learn. Stop blaming this on your own people.
That's right. Yeah, there's many Cambodians who are very educated.
Yes.
Very innovative. And so the question then is, what can we do as employer to retain this type of talent in our company, right? How do you appreciate their talent? How do you reward them? How do you create a career progression system? Yeah, so that
they don't feel stuck.
Yes, they don't feel stuck in one place. Correct. Yes.
Yes. Well, thank you for coming. Cheers to that.
Yes. Cheers.
I hope that you be seeing you again soon.
Yes. Yes. Me too. Thank you. Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye.